Okay, so I want to talk about strategic disputing. So, first and foremost, strategic disputing requires you doing your homework and patience. Patience is key. Now, there are lots of instances where you are able to strategically dispute a bankruptcy or collection and get it removed fairly quickly. But those situations are not necessarily ordinary, okay? That happens sometimes. It's not like that. That's not something that even happens 70% of the time when credit disputing. Okay, so we got to remember that we are looking for true inaccuracies. And with the Metro 2 standard disputing, we're looking for even more than inaccuracies. So, what I want to talk to you guys about is disputing your consumer reporting agencies first. That to me is like rule number one when planning a strategic dispute. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of information on some of the consumer reporting agencies who report bankruptcies. And you can literally go to any of their websites. In fact, I have a complete list of every consumer reporting agency that I could possibly find on my website. You can go to the website and download the PDF of over 100 consumer reporting agencies who are reporting on you possibly. The links in the PDF are clickable, which makes your life easier. So I would definitely suggest, if you're doing DIY disputes, go to my website, download the PDF. It's just free information. So I'm going to mainly focus on bankruptcy, but keep in mind the strategy is going to go for collections and charge-offs, loan charge-offs, and just basically everything. But I want to talk more about bankruptcies just because I deal with bankruptcy more than I deal with anything else as far as people asking questions. So number one, if I'm going to dispute a bankruptcy, the first thing that I'm going to do is start with the consumer reporting agencies who have that information. You want to start with basically the little birdie who carried the worm. Factual data. This is a consumer reporting agency who may very well have your bankruptcy information on it. They even have information on judgments and tax liens if you haven't paid it, or even if you have like a lease that maybe you broke, or if you left an apartment that you were renting and you owed money. They have all of that information. So if you're having any of that stuff going on, you're going to want to check with them. Now, some people would prefer to get in touch with these consumer agencies and pull their reports first and then go in and dispute accordingly. That's fine if you want to do that. It's a little bit more time consuming. I'm just one, it already takes a while. It's a time consuming process, disputing and waiting. So me, I just kind of go in guns blazing, assuming that you already have that information and I'm disputing it. And of course, the famous LexisNexis. Everyone knows about LexisNexis. That name literally rings bells in the credit world. Okay, so LexisNexis has your information. Like, I wouldn't even guess if I had a bankruptcy whether or not LexisNexis had that information. And of course, if you have a bankruptcy that's reporting on TransUnion, you're going to want to dispute with LCI. And of course, CoreLogic Code. Now, CoreLogic is another company that is fairly large, okay? CoreLogic, this is the information that CoreLogic Code would have on your credit file. It would be bankruptcies, judgments, if you owe child support, tax liens, bankruptcies, of course, rental lease applications, collections, court records, judgments, judgment for possession, evictions, writs, liens, property taxes, mortgage deed. Like, they literally track your life. Like, they even know like all the property that you've ever owned. So like, if you have any issues with any of this stuff going on, or if you just want to know what these guys have on you, I definitely would highly recommend pulling your CoreLogic credit report They will give you one free one every 12 months. So definitely get that report. If there's some things there that you need to dispute, like if you have bankruptcy and you see your bankruptcy there, please dispute with them before you go and dispute to the credit bureaus, because it may just be a waste of time just to dispute strictly with the credit bureaus and not with the consumer reporting agencies. Okay, so next on the list we have Innovis. Innovis is also a fairly large company, and they house the same information. Innovis focuses a lot more on verifying your identity as well. So that puts Innovis at one of the top consumer reporting agencies to dispute with when you're trying to get stuff off, like collections and things of that nature. And SageStream has just as much information on you as, say, Factual Data or CoreLogic Creco. SageStream has all this information on you as well. They don't just have like information of your inquiries, your addresses, and your different names that you've used. They are so much more than that. You know, think about it. What would it profit them to be a company who just had personal information on you? You know, why not, you know, report all of your information? And I said all that to say this about SageStream, because a lot of people seem to think that SageStream only reports personal information, such as your different names that you may have used, if you got married or divorced, things like that. SageStream reports lots more than just your names and your addresses. SageStream will have your account information as well. So I definitely would dispute with SageStream. Do not leave them out of your disputes. Factor Trust, that's another big consumer agency to dispute with, especially if you're disputing bankruptcy or collections or charge off. Like if you have bank charge offs where you've defaulted with a bank, Factor Trust is the company that you're going to want to dispute with first. DataX is a huge company. It's been around for years. Sometimes people seem to like forget about them, I guess. I don't know why they're not mentioned no more than actually I hear about them, but they're a huge company. Dispute with them. I guarantee you, if you have a collection, DataX has that information on you. Clarity Services, that's another one. Dispute with them. If you have a bankruptcy, dispute with them. The goal in disputing is to basically rip the legs from under the table, which means that don't give the credit bureaus any legs to stand on when they're trying to verify and validate your bankruptcy or your rental collection or your charged off credit cards. Wipe all the information that they could possibly go and pull from out, and then go dispute with them. So that's just like a strategic key that I wanted to hand out to you guys. I know I talk about disputing strategically all the time, but it really works. Trust me, take the time, do your homework, go to my website. I have lots of free information there, and of course everyone knows you can leave comments in the comment section, or you can text me. My number, I have a cell phone number that's always going to be in the description. If you have any questions while you're on your DIY dispute journey, please don't hesitate to text me. That's what the number is there for. Don't think you're bothering me. So until the next video,